That's chapter 3, I think, no?
I remember. I don't know.
Yeah, we did chapter 3 as well. We're going to still go to chapter 4 now. Start with chapter 4. Start the shit. Bdikat Chametz. The laws of Bdikat Chametz. Bdikat Chametz.
Rabbi, can I ask regarding
Yeah, sure, yeah.
the gift of the matano, right?
For
this.
For the holiday of Purim?
Yeah.
You're talking about Purim?
Purim, yeah,
Talking about the holiday of Purim?
Yeah.
You have to give gifts to the poor on Purim. Yes.
Yes. So is the obligation of a woman is the same as a man?
Yes.
So can that family maybe the man give and the woman going to give? It's just like
He has
Hanukkah,
to. He can give on behalf of her, but there has to be enough of a gift. So there could be enough there as a gift from you, and enough there as a gift from her.
Okay.
You can be her agent for sure.
How about
She can be your agent. Children, until they're bar mitzvah, they're not obligated.
Okay. And
How old is your oldest?
yeah,
The problem is most children don't have their own money. Even when if they're 12 years old. For women, it's 12 years old.
Yeah.
So you give them some money.
Yeah.
Tell them to give it to the poor, but they don't usually know anybody poor. So you tell them about it, that you give on their behalf. So you should give on their behalf. Minimum gift. What did we say is the minimum gift? We didn't talk about the details yet. One shekel. Yeah. Well, usually we try to give so that he can have a meal, right? We want to be able to have. So what's the cost of the cheapest meal? You guys know. You go get a pita, falafel. Yeah, chatzi pita, 13 shekel. That should probably be
Free chips also.
amazing. It's great deal, right? And you get eggs for free in Machon Meir.
Good.
You're a lucky man to be a student of Machon Meir.
Oh, Hashem.
3 meals a day. You're a very lucky man.
Good.
Okay. This is you're looking at the board from yesterday. We had a class about communication.
Oh.
We have a relationships class every
Oh,
Sunday.
relationships. How I'm related with him.
You gotta speak the same language. You don't speak Dutch, do you?
No.
You don't speak Swedish, do you?
No.
Because you speak English together. Amazing.
For the solution.
Gabriel speaks Spanish, so you can speak to Benjamin in Spanish. Right? How many years did you live in South America?
Oh.
Brazil?
Brazil?
12 years. You must have learned a lot of that language. And your wife was Brazilian. So you spoke with her Spanish?
No, we speak.
What did you
broken
speak?
English. And sometimes French.
Oh yeah.
Is Swedish more. When the baby came, you speak Portuguese. Ah!
So the kids don't understand, you're saying?
Now they understand because they know Portuguese.
Oh.
How much language you speak?
What?
How many languages do you speak?
7.
7. Nice. Gabriel, how are you this morning? Yeah, everything well?
Yeah, I'm
Tired? Did you have some breakfast?
tired.
You ate something. Okay. Shalom Yisrael. Shalom. We're starting chapter 4. Talking about the laws of Bdikat Chametz. And Michael Ari is providing us a very good example.
Good obstacle?
A good example.
For Hametz.
For Bdikat Chametz, it raises so many questions. Many times when you read a book, you're also eating. Hey, what happens? Maybe you got some chametz. Maybe you got some chametz in the book. We have to see. How are we going to get rid of all the chametz? How are we going to know? So,
Have to clean the books? What?
Let's see. Maybe we do. Maybe we have to clean the books. Let's read chapter 4. Hopefully we'll know the answers. Bamba means maybe a little snack.
Snack.
Kid snack. Kid snack. Yeah.
Yeah, for children, yes.
Die bambas? So only for children.
Big children too.
Bomba.
Bamba.
Bamba.
Bamba. Yeah, not bamba. Bomba means you get hit, smacked. You get a bomb. Bamba is the snack. Okay.
Bomba is
May-
bomb.
For the song.
Popeyes?
Bomba is bomb.
Bomba is a bomb. Well, yeah, different languages. Okay. Okay, Gabriel, start us off. The time for B'dikat Chametz. It'll keep you awake because you're tired. So wake you up.
The time from the Kat Hametz, as we learned in the previous chapter, one possesses Hametz, and Pesach transgresses two prohibitions. No Hametz of yours shall be seen, and there shall be no sea or found in your home. In order to not violate these two prohibitions, one must eliminate all the Hametz from his possession. According to the Torah, it is possible to dispose of the Hametz by nullifying it verbally, because when one nullifies the Hametz in his possession, it becomes like dust, no longer belonging to him, and consequently, it does not cause him to transgress the prohibition of Baal Yeraeh and Baal Yimaseh. Nonetheless, the sages rule that we must not rely on this nullification alone. Rather, one must also physically remove the possession. There are two reasons for this. Firstly, they feared the people would nullify Hametz insincerely, intending to benefit from it after Pesach, and this would result in transgression the prohibition of Baal Yeraeh and Baal Yimaseh. Secondly, they fear that after nullifying Hametz, one might see an enticing piece of pastry and eat it, forgetting that it's Pesach. The sages therefore ordain that in addition to bitul Hametz, one must search out Hametz in order to eliminate it from his possession.
A question for you, Pinchas. Good morning. B'dikat Chametz, the mitzvah, the search and destroy mission. Is this a biblical command or a rabbinic command?
Rabbinic.
You say rabbinic. Everybody agrees?
Looking for the chametz?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a rabbinic based on the biblical.
Explain what you mean, Michael.
Because the Torah said that we don't have to have chametz. You know, and we know the rabbis make fences, so how to make sure we don't have chametz? Look for it in the house.
Good. I like what you're saying. The Torah stems from the Torah command. Besides the Torah saying you're not allowed to have chametz, it also says you're supposed to destroy any chametz that you have. Positive commandment. So there's biblical commands, but then, so why do the rabbis have to make a mitzvah, b'dikat chametz? Why don't you just say it's just a biblical command to destroy the chametz?
Because the Torah is not very details about
No, sometimes they give lots of details. Why do we say it's from the rabbis? Why is it only rabbinic mitzvah? You're right, Eitan. It is a rabbinic mitzvah. Why don't you say it's just a biblical mitzvah? What did we learn? That there's two ways to fulfill the biblical mitzvah.
Yeah, but the rabbis want to ensure that you don't.
What are the two
You
ways?
don't only lean in one way.
What's the one way? What's the way?
One is to remove it verbally.
Verbally, right. Or in your mind. You can nullify it. What's that called? Bitul. You can fulfill the biblical command just by nullifying it. Just like that. Very easy. The rabbi said, maybe too easy. Why? Do they have to make it hard? No, they don't have to make it hard, but they said, using your mind to fulfill the biblical command is a little bit tricky. Maybe you're not thinking straight. Maybe in the back of your mind, you actually don't want to nullify your chametz. Maybe you want to keep some, right? Maybe even if your mind is perfectly honest and true, in the middle of Pesach, you'll find a loaf of bread or some wafers. I walked into class this morning. Somebody left us some chametz. I don't know whose it is. I think another group had a class here. They had a snack. They left us some chametz. I don't know. Can I eat it? Probably. I don't know. I put it here. But it could be that you'll see chametz lying around if you don't look for it. If you don't get rid of it, you just in your mind say, "Oh, chametz is nullified. Chametz is not mine." In the middle of Pesach, you may change your mind, or you may eat it. And so the rabbi said you have to do both, two types. You have to nullify it with your mind, and also search and destroy physically. Search for it and get rid of the chametz. That's called so b'dikat chametz. You were all right. Eitan, you're correct. It's a rabbinic mitzvah. They said you must use this method, even though you could fulfill we do both. You could fulfill the biblical command by using nullification. With bitul, so we bitul and b'dika, we do both. So, and Michael is correct also that it's a sort of a rabbinic way to fulfill the biblical mitzvah. Rabbi said you must do it in this way, just to be safe. Okay, so that's b'dika and bitul. So b'dika, we're talking about the rules of b'dika. Turn the page, and we'll start top of page 38. Pinchas, will you read for us, please?
First class grants provide time for the car commits should be just before midday or the day before is when start. The deadline for removing commits. However, the schedules or then that we search for commits at line 4 of the 14th. Because during the day, people are busy with the fields and even one weeks. Here the day with the 40s to do the car commits. The night to forget it today. Furthermore, and the night is especially effective for checking the cracks and the
Crevices, little corners.
crevices with crevices
Right.
with the house. But during the day, candles do not illuminate it well, since the sunlight prevents the eye from focusing on the wick. Night of the even night of the candle. Therefore, the Saints institute the Carmate at line 4 of the 14th. Because at night, people are usually at home and night is effective at this time.
Yafe. So, when is the time for b'dikat chametz? Right? Didn't somebody ask me the other day? I think it was Aaron. He said, "Why don't we do chametz, b'dikat chametz in the daytime? It's easier to see in the daytime." What are the two answers? Here he asks also, maybe it makes sense to do it in the daytime. On the day of the 14th, the day that it becomes prohibited, you do some checking. What's the problem? So we answered two things. One is that at night, you can use the candle, just look into the corners and cracks. And people are usually at home at night. During the day, everybody's busy, everybody's going about their business. We want to check your home. So your home, nighttime is better for checking the home. So we checked the night before, beginning of the 14th at night. Okay, yes, sir.
If without children, the continue the Brika habits.
If what?
Without children is overnight.
You still have to do b'dikat chametz. You eat bread all year round, even without children.
No, now many families the pick 10 habits, the
Pieces,
children,
yeah.
children do before, but But because they are children, even no children, I
Even adults,
I
yes.
hide them.
Yes.
My wife who,
Yes. Yes. Your wife can hide them and you find them.
uh,
Yeah. Or you can hide them and she can find them. Either way. But yes, well, the custom is that we put out 10 pieces. And we'll see why in a few minutes. But yes, we do this even if there's no children. The point really is to clean and to check. It's not about the 10 pieces. The 10 pieces is an extra custom. We're going to see the B'dikat Chametz is not just about 10 pieces of bread which you hid. It's about actually looking for wafers. Right, you don't know what I'm showing you here. Look inside the bag. I found this. Wafers. Oh, this is chametz. This is chametz. I don't know if I can give it to you. Probably it's hefker, but I don't know. Okay, so it's not about the 10 pieces, but we still do the 10 pieces even without children in the house. Okay. Yisrael, can you read the next paragraph, please? Since people. Middle, page 38.
28.
Yeah, in the middle.
Since the people normally pay Ma'arim at the beginning of the night, one should do so
That means before the B'dika.
to the B'dika that they more
Frequent.
weaken. Take his
Precedence.
present.
But there's a rule in Hebrew. It's tadir v'she'ino tadir kodem. You have a regular mitzvah, happens frequently, and an irregular mitzvah. You always do the frequent one first. Whichever one is the regular one, the one that's more frequent takes precedence. So Ma'ariv is every night, so we do it first. And then there's this night, the night of the 14th. There's a second mitzvah, B'dikat Chametz. We do that second. So when nightfall starts, first thing we do is daven Arvit, and then we go to B'dikat Chametz. Go ahead. Go ahead, Israel. One should
then process quickly to the B'dikat Hametz. One who is accustomed to pay with a minyan later in the evening should search for the Hametz and Tisti and pay and this usual out.
So if you have a regular Mariv at 8:30 at night, nightfall is at 6. So you first do the B'dikat Chametz and then do Mariv later. Because your regular hour, regular minyan is okay, it's considered set at its time. So not always do you daven Mariv first. It depends what your custom is. If you have a regular Mariv later, you can do the regular Mariv the usual time. But of course, you start B'dikat Chametz right away at nightfall at Tzeit HaKochavim, the appearance of 3 stars. Okay, Michael, you want to continue, please? The obligation.
The obligation to search for Chametz is primarily upon the party. However, if he wants to go home late on this day, it's better that he appoints his wife or another adult family member to search in his stead at the appointed hour when night time arrives. Regarding this mitzvah, there is no difference between men and women, and one should choose the shaliyah proxy, person who can be trusted to carry out the search properly and responsibly. If it's difficult to appoint a shaliyah, then be the but one should perform the search himself later in the evening when he gets home.
We're going to see that what happens if someone's traveling. You're going away until the following day, till Pesach. You're not home at all on the night of the 14th. What do? You have a mitzvah to fulfill. You have to check your chametz in your home. Appoint a shaliach, appoint an agent to do it for you. Give him the keys to your home and say, listen, nightfall, Tzet HaKochavim, the night of the 14th, there's a mitzvah I have to do, but I can't, I'm busy. I'm traveling. I'm going to be in Eilat. I'm on vacation. The neighbor will go into your house and check for the chametz for you. Might have to pay him a little bit. Might have to pay him like you pay a cleaner, right? Pay somebody to clean your house. Essentially, you're being their shaliach to check for chametz. Of course, they're doing it usually when you're going to get jobs cleaning for Pesach. It'll be before the night of the 14th. It's preparation so that the night of the 14th will go chick-chack. What's that?
Yeah.
Quickly, fast. Sometimes the bdikat chametz, I told you, could take all night.
Depends how big your house is.
Depends how big your house is. Depends if you cleaned beforehand. If you prepared. Sometimes I had little kids, I was so busy, and I didn't have money to pay anybody to clean for me. So I cleaned everything myself, and I didn't have time. So the night of the 14th, I gave my mother my small children to watch, to be babysitter. And I cleaned the whole house in one night. The night of the 14th, that's the mitzvah originally. But people don't like to work at night, so they prepare ahead of time. And then if everything's clean, you still have to check. You still have to put out the 10 pieces, but you can do it much quicker because you've cleaned it just yesterday, the day before yesterday. You hired somebody to clean it. You can rely on that, so you do have a very quick chick-chack bdikat chametz. Yes?
But the cleaning for Pesach is like, you just clean like normally what you do now?
Let's see. This is what we have to learn now. We're going to learn the details.
Or you need to remove everything?
Let's see. Okay, page 39, number 2. Activities rabbinically forbidden before bdikat chametz. I'll make it simple. Don't eat a proper meal. Don't have dinner first. Nightfall, you have a mitzvah. You do the mitzvah first. If you have to work, don't work. First do the mitzvah. If you want to study Torah, don't study Torah. Do the mitzvah first. Unless you have a regular class every day at the same time, you do the regular class. But first thing is, bdikat chametz. It's a mitzvah. When does it start? Nightfall. Tzet HaKochavim. Exactly, nightfall. And you make a bracha. Let's keep going. Number 3, the bracha before beginning to search for chametz. One recites the bracha. Baruch Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam, asher kitshal mitzvah v'tzivanu. Turn the page 40. Al bi'ur chametz. Who can tell me why we make the bracha al bi'ur chametz? I'll let Rabbi Melamed tell us. I already taught you. Remember? The actual bi'ur chametz will not take place until the following morning, with the burning and the nullification of the chametz. We nonetheless recite al bi'ur chametz before the search on the night of the 14th because bdikat chametz is the first step in the process of eliminating chametz from the home. Okay, so you're actually beginning the mitzvah right now. The night you begin it, you finish it the following morning when you burn it. Understand? So we make the bracha at the beginning. After the bracha, it's forbidden to talk. You make a bracha on an apple. You have to eat the apple right away. Make a bracha on a drink. Don't start saying, hello, how are you? You made a bracha, you have to drink right away. No, hefsek. Not to have an interruption. At this point, if one talks about matters unrelated to bdikat chametz, he has abandoned the bracha, must recite another. However, if you already start searching, that's good enough. You don't have to say the bracha again. Look down at the bottom of page 40. It says, one who owns several houses must search them all. I think we all have this problem. We have a few places to search. You have to search wherever you are responsible for. Maybe, am I responsible for this room? Maybe. Maybe Rav Listman is responsible. So I have to check the chametz. Rav Listman has to check the chametz in his home, in Givat Asaf, and also here, in the rooms that belong to the English department. 2 places. You have to be traveling a lot on the night of the 14th.
But we can help him, right?
Sure, you can be a shaliach.
Also as non-Jew? You
No.
can trust?
No. Mitzvot have to be done by Jews. Mitzvot by Jews, yeah. Soon, Bezrat Hashem.
So, yes.
Okay, look at the top of page 41. If one must travel, and never bdikat chametz before the 14th of Nisan, even though the search is valid, he does not recite the bracha. Here he means to say that, let's say you're traveling on the 13th, on the 12th, on the 11th, you're going away for Pesach. And you don't have an agent to send. You don't want to give anybody your keys. So you do the bdikah before you leave, on the night of the 13th, on the night of the 12th. But you don't make a bracha. You only make a bracha if you do the bdikah on the night of the 14th. Okay, next, places that must be searched. Yes, section 4.
I got a friend, he told me that for the Pesach, he will swap house with a friend.
Nice.
So, how he avoid the chametz? Does he nullify this or how?
So we're going to see who's responsible for doing bdikat chametz. The owner of the house or the person who's renting it or using it. We're going to see it's coming up at the end of the chapter. We're going to talk about it. Places that must be searched. 41. Who read last? Michael, Arya, you read? You read already. So Eitan, you read, please. Section 4.
Place that must be searched. Any property owned by a Jew that might contain kitzayit or chametz must be searched. Therefore, the kitchen and the dining room where people eat must be searched, and any room, storage space, where people sometimes bring in chametz must also be searched. Clothes and clothes that are not generally used during the course of a meal need to be searched. However, if there are children in the house, clothes must be searched because the children may have opened with them while handling chametz, or may have even hidden chametz in the clothes that are too high for children to reach, not by search. One must also search cars and carrying bags, which sometimes put food. Adults who generally do not put food in their pockets need not search them. However, the pockets of children must be searched. Garments that we have washed, that were washed, and their pockets emptied out beforehand, not need to be searched. On the night of the 14th, one who does not have a home does not recite the bracha when searching his car or pockets for the Sages Institute, saying a bracha only when searching a house. The stairwell of an apartment building or condominium is shared by all of the building's occupants, and therefore they are collective obligation to search it. In such a case, one of the occupants shall be given the responsibility of performing bdikat chametz. Open yards need be searched because we can.
Need not be searched.
Need not be searched because we can
Reasonably, yes.
Reasonably assume the animal ate any chametz that might have been there. However, if there are alcoves in the yard that might contain chametz, they must be searched because animals may not have crawled into them to eat the chametz. Likewise, if one knows for certain that there was chametz in his yard on the night of the 14th, he must search it because he cannot be certain that animal will eat by midday of the 14th. And the enclosed part, even if it's open into a yard, must be searched. All no less public domains need not be searched, for even if they contain chametz, no violation has been committed. This is because such chametz is not in the possession of any particular Jew. In the chametz provision only applies when chametz is in the possession of a Jew and is not in ownerless domain. Garbage bin and discussion bin.
Who owns the garbage bins?
The government.
The municipality, yes, the government of Jerusalem, or the government of the police, the municipality of Tel Aviv, wherever they are. So what do they do? Wow, that's a problem. Everybody puts their chametz in the garbage can. The chametz must be tons there. We'll discuss it in the next chapter, but usually food in the garbage can is not edible. It's not. It doesn't have to be. They can also use nullification maybe in their mind. All right. So you got to check everywhere that they might have put chametz. Binyamin, show us your bag. Show everybody your bag, your knapsack. Lift it up. Show it to the group. Show it to the group. Any chametz in there?
Yes.
You think so? What? Would you put chametz in your bag?
We put
I need to check.
You need to check it. Sometimes you have a sandwich. Sometimes you have a
No.
candy bar.
No.
No.
No?
Never?
No, because the candy bars I put in my pocket. He is straight because he knows that I'm not supposed to eat this.
Oh.
People look at me when I'm eating something forbidden.
I see.
And then he says, look.
You're hiding. I see. Okay. Good. I keep my pockets also. So I have to check all my pockets. If it's been through the laundry, I assume you don't put it's been emptied out or it's been cleaned out, became inedible. But sometimes, nowadays, we have food in packaging, which can stay very good even after being through the laundry, because the package is so sealed. So you have to think. The most important part of doing b'dikat chametz is not using your hands. It's using your mind. Think, where might you have left some chametz?
Another place.
In the bed.
Exactly. In your bed, maybe you had a snack, you had some cookies. Look under the bed, maybe there's a cookie that fell. Yeah.
Before Pesach, we needed to clean everything at home.
Well, no. If you know there's a place where you never put chametz, like he said, and there are no children where you're going to bring chametz, like you have a closet for storage. You never put chametz there. You never put bread there. You have maybe some old pictures, albums. Maybe you never bring chametz there. You don't have to check it.
The dust is there.
Dust is not chametz. Dust is not chametz.
Before the Pesach, need to
No,
clean.
you don't have to clean. Dust, you don't have to get rid of chametz. You can be very dirty. Dust is not chametz. You have to get rid of chametz. People in society, the culture,
But before Pesach, we need to clean everything.
you think so, but people think so, but they're wrong. They're wrong. It's not halachically true. Not everything has chametz.
No toilets.
Toilet, you could have a dirty toilet on Pesach. There's no mitzvah. I mean, it's nice to honor the festival, to be clean, but you don't have to clean. People have this idea, spring cleaning. You've heard of that? They have that in Dutch, a concept called spring cleaning.
Yeah. No,
In Sweden you have it? No?
Yeah.
It's like a special time you clean everything.
Everybody cleans. Yeah, many cultures have that. Non-Jews have that. Chinese also? Something called spring cleaning.
New Year.
Spring festival. Exactly. Many cultures have that. And so people think, oh, Pesach is in the springtime. Spring cleaning.
My mother did this every month. Oh,
Wow, that's special. That's very clean. Some people are more clean than others. But you don't really have to clean the whole house. you have to check for chametz. While we do it, we usually do our spring cleaning at the same time. But you don't have to. You have to search for chametz, cake, crackers, anything made from the 5 grains. We talked about it. Anything that has any ingredients which are from the 5 grains. We're going to see, do you have to be careful about crumbs? We're going to get there. Okay, so far so good. Let's continue. The candle. The sages ordained at the bottom of number 5. Binyamin, will you read for us number 5? Bottom page 42. The sages ordained. 42. 42. 42. Is this your book or is this our book?
It's our book. Yes.
Good. Go ahead.
Gunlight and the last.
Flashlight.
Light.
The flashlight,
The
yes.
sage ordinary the Vidikas the Hametz will be performed by candlelight because candlelight is focused and effective for sage. During the day, the light of the sun detracts from the brightness of the candlelight. And it is difficult for the eyes to focus in its weak light. Therefore, the sage ordinarily searching for at night, because at night candlelight is not bright. And does a good job of illuminating the holidays and the crevices where the essence of the search is carried out. One may not search for hammets by torchlight.
That is.
Sorry?
That is, i.e. that is.
Yeah, there is. With a candlelight that has 2 or more separate wicks.
Does anybody have in their family a candle with 2 wicks?
Yes. The Havdalah candle.
Exactly. Havdalah candle?
Yeah.
Cannot use it for bedikat chametz.
Not by torchlight.
He explains why. There are several reasons for this. The main one being that the large flame will cause the searcher to worry about burning something, and as a result, not be able to concentrate on his search. Let's skip to the next paragraph. In principle, it is permissible to use a flashlight for bedikat chametz. In England, I think they call a flashlight a torch. So don't get confused. What he means to say is a torch is a candle with more than 1 wick, like a very big candle. That's what's not allowed. But a flashlight with a battery, with that's allowed. That's allowed. It is permissible in principle. The sages ordained using a candle because this light is focused and the light of the flashlight is focused. So a flashlight is like a candle. Even better, in some ways, to use a flashlight.
Safer.
It's safer. You don't have to worry about burning things or spilling wax. Sometimes nowadays you have flashlights which are much stronger light than a candle. 1 candle. You have a flashlight. It actually measured by how many lumens. Lumens is how many candle lights. You could have 100 candles, the light of 100 candles in 1 electric flashlight. However, some people are strict and do not use a flashlight because the sages derived from scriptural verses. I'm reading about 10 lines from the end that the search for chametz should be performed with a candle. Yet a flashlight can also be considered a kind of candle, where the filament is like the flame and the battery is like the oil. In practice, the prevailing custom is, I'm at the end of section 5, to search by candlelight, in keeping with the practice of the sages. However, one who wishes to search with a flashlight may do so with a bracha. And in places where the searcher is concerned that the candle will cause a fire, it is preferable to search with a flashlight. What do I do in my home? I use both. Usually we do it together, the whole family, whoever's home. And I light a candle. It's traditional. So I walk around with a candle. And my wife or my children, they walk around with a flashlight. And we're all searching together. We make the bracha, light the candle, and then we walk around. And one person is holding a flashlight, one person is holding a candle. We're all searching for the chametz. But a flashlight is allowed. The only thing not allowed is a big, big candle called a torch, which is 2 wicks or more. And that's not allowed. Okay? Now the biggest question is number 6. Page 43, at the bottom of page 43, number 6. Stephen, you are on.
And must one search for less than a kazai of hametz? The purpose of medical hametz is to find pieces of hametz that are a kazai or larger. For one only violates Baal Yere'eh and Baal Yimazai. If there is a kazai or more of hametz in one place in his home, therefore any part of the house into which people sometimes bring hametz must be searched. In a house where children are present, one must search all of the place that the children enter. However, one need not search closet or shelf that are out of the reach of children. Some poskim take the stringent position that the purpose of the search is to ensure that not a single edible crumb or hametz remains in one possession. For if even one crumb remains, somebody might mistakenly eat it during Pesach and thus transgress a Torah prohibition. Even though there is no punishment for eating less than a kazai of hametz, the Torah nonetheless prohibits it. According to this position, one must search the entire house meticulously and keep an eye out for even small crumbs that might be hametz. Such a search in a normal house should take at least 2 hours. However, even according to stringent opinion, one need not search for crumbs so small that they are not recognizable as food. Likewise, there is no need to search for crumbs so filthy that they are inedible. For example, if it is not necessary to inspect the crack between the floor tiles because the crumbs, they are repulsive and not fit to be eaten. In practice, one who chooses to be stringent and search for the crumb smaller than the kazai is praiseworthy, but the halakha follow the lenient opinion. The reason is that the obligation to search for hametz is rabbinically ordained. According to the Torah, one who mentally nullified his hametz has already avoided the prohibition of hametz and need not search his home. It is the sages who ordained that in addition to the bitul, we must search and destroy hametz. Whenever there is a disagreement about a rabbinic enactment, the lenient opinion is generally preferred. All this applies to the house in general, but it goes without saying that any object that will come into contact with food during Pesach must be thoroughly clean, for even the slightest amount of hametz render the food prohibited on Pesach. Therefore, the dining table, countertop, the cabinets, and all must be cleaned so well that not a single crumb of hametz remains.
Okay. How big is a kazait?
Olive size.
The size of an olive. So the basic halacha is you only have to search for
What is the size of an olive?
for chametz. That's the size of a chametz. Half a cracker, a little pretzel, begele in Hebrew. Maybe as the size of an olive, right? But if it's just a crumb, look, this bag. Look at this. Look at this, guys. Take a look. Look at this. Empty it out. Oh, crumbs. You see, there's some crumbs in here. There's crumbs. Little bits of chametz. Do I have to search for that? This is the debate. Some rabbis say yes, some rabbis say no. But the Lamed says the basic halacha is to be lenient. You only have to look for a kazait, which is a wafer maybe this size. Okay? If you're looking for pieces this size, smaller than that, these little crumbs like this, it's not important. However, there are many people who are stringent. And they say, this crumb, sometimes, look at this. I'm so hungry now, I'm going to take this little crumb and I'm going to make a bracha on it. Baruch atah Adonai Olam borei minim tzanav. I didn't have any breakfast. I'm so hungry. So we see that even crumbs smaller than a kazait. This for sure. I'm going to enjoy. So, and now my hands are full of crumbs, right? So there's a debate. Now that's on the floor.
Yeah, but leaving the floor.
That's okay. Right, so now we have to clean the floor. If you have to look for crumbs smaller than a kazait. So many people have the custom to look for crumbs even smaller than a kazait. And that's why, Pinchas, going back to your question, do you have to clean the house? Clean. If you're looking for small crumbs, smaller than a kazait, like this, it's not a kazait, but it's chametz. Do you have to search for it? So you have to clean the whole house. Maybe there's even something smaller than a kazait. But Melamed says you don't have to. That's what I answered you before. You don't have to clean the house. You have to search for chametz. Dust is not chametz. Now this is not dust, but it's insignificant. It's less than a kazait. However, some people eat this. Little crumbs, right? So there's good room to be machmir. Maybe you should clean your house to get the tiny crumbs. Rav Melamed himself, even though he's lenient, he says there's one place you have to be very, very careful to clean, even for the tiny crumbs. Which place is that? In the kitchen. Why in the kitchen? Because in the kitchen you're going to be eating the food. If there's a little crumb there and you're having, here I have a fruit, right? I have a little bit of fruit here. What's the bracha on this? What is this? What is this called?
Ananas.
This is ananas, pineapple. Where does it grow? Adama. It grows in the ground. People don't know, but it grows in the ground. Yeah. I've seen them grow. Yeah, in the ground. Yeah, it's very pradama. Yeah, you should know your brachot. So I want to eat this, but if I put it on the counter, and the counter has a little crumb there, what's going to happen? Oh, look at that! It's stuck. The little piece of chametz is now stuck. I ate chametz on Pesach. So in the kitchen, anything near food, got to be very, very careful. Not even one little speck. Even though it's not a kazait. Because maybe it'll get mixed up in your food. And you'll be eating chametz. So that's where you have to be very, very careful. The rest of the house, it's a machlok. Some people say only look for the size of a kazait. And other people say every little crumb, the whole house. Every little crumb, but not every speck of dust. Dust is not a crumb. Help yourself, guys. I think it's left for us. You can have a. I don't have to be the only one eating. Have a little snack. So far, so good. Okay, so I think that's a good. It's a good policy. And now look what I'm doing. What am I doing? Well, I'm cleaning off the page from the little crumbs. We're going to see if we have to on the next page. Next page, page 46. Gabriel, we're back to you. Top of page 46, number 7.
The books require the Hamet according to several Achronim, one is required to search all books.
Wait, who are Acharonim? Who are Acharonim? The later ones. What does that mean? When did they live? Rabbis who lived in which era?
1500.
Period 7. 1500 to 2000, right? Our nowadays, Acharonim. So there's a debate. According to several Acharonim. Go ahead.
One is required to search all of books page by page because of currents of Hametz might have fallen onto one of them. These authorities maintain that the objective of studying Hametz is to remove every crumb of Hametz from one's possession, and this was the practice of Machon Meir. He would check page by page the books he planned to read on Pesach and then sell the rest of the books to a Gentile and put a partition in front of him. In this manner, he exempted himself from the obligation to search them all. However, according to those poskim who maintain that the pure purpose of Bedikat Hametz is to find bits of Hametz, the size of Ketzayit, clearly there is no need to such a thorough search of books, for it is inconceivable that there could be a Ketzayit of Hametz between the pages of a book. In fact, even some of the stringent poskim who say that all Hametz must be sought out and maintain that one is not required to search for the sort of tiny crumbs in which a child is finding food. Because even if one sees them on Pesach, there is little concern that one will want to eat them. Therefore, one should not search books page by page, because this is overly stringent behavior and is even liable to result in a waste of Torah study time.
Wow.
Indeed, the accepted practice is not to be stringent.
You know why I'm a little bit concerned here is because every year before Pesach, the custom in Machon Meir is that we stop classes. We go into the English library and we look through all the books for Chametz.
Yeah?
According to Rabbi Melamed, overly stringent behavior.
But how?
We should rather be studying. Usually what we do is, even if we look every page, that would take a year. Usually you go like this. Right? You open up the book, you flip through it like this, and then you see that nothing falls out, no chametz. You go on to the next book. But you don't have to, because the simple halacha is follows the lenient opinion that you're not looking for tiny specks of chametz. Only kazait. Can a kazait get into the book? A pretzel can be in the book? Not possible.
It's like a lot of worms inside the book, and together that make a kazak.
Good, right? Some people, it could be, but then it's more of a problem. But I think that's also unlikely. Unlikely that you have so many crumbs inside the book that it'll make a kazait. I want you to know, though, I had an amazing experience on Shabbat, or I think it was on Shabbat. My wife wanted to learn a specific section, and so I said, I have that book, I'll bring you the book. Gave her the book, she opens up the book and she's studying. And inside the book, there's a page. It's a very I've been looking for 20 years for my smicha, my diploma. Then I became a rabbi 25 years ago. It was missing. I didn't know where it was. I had left it inside this big book because it was flat, and I needed it's a big diploma. So after 20 years, I found my diploma. Now I'm really a rabbi. Okay. I should bring it in one day. I'll show you.
It's not a question of age.
Oh, yes.
Everybody says, you're too old, you don't remember where you put your things.
That's it. That's right. I didn't know where I put it. I really didn't. I had a photocopy, thank God, because I needed it once in a while for applying for government things, whatever, I needed to show that I had my smicha, but I didn't have the original. I thought it was lost. It was lost, but I found it. Baruch Hashem. Inside the book. So a paper you can leave inside the book, but not crumbs of a kazayit. So I have many, Baruch Hashem, many books. Probably 1,000 volumes. Probably a little more. If I were to go through every book, it would take a long time. So I'm lenient. I don't look for chametz in the books. Except, keep going. Who was reading? Gabriel? All this applies. Bottom of 44. No, sorry. Four, excuse me. My mistake. Nevertheless, yeah.
One should not put books on the dining table during Pesach unless he was careful to distance them from hametz throughout the year. Such books might contain a crumb of hametz which could fall into some food. In any amount of hametz on Pesach, it is forbidden even if it is mixed with a much greater quantity of other foodstuffs. It is permissible to read such books on the table at which one does not eat.
So sometimes you bring a book to the table. Don't do that on Pesach if you haven't searched that there's no crumbs in there, because maybe the crumbs will fall onto your food. More importantly is the next paragraph. Go ahead. This is more common.
If the year one places such books on the dining table between meals, he must be careful to clean the table well after eating, so that not a single crumb remains. Even the stringent poskim maintain that one who is careful all year long to distance his book from hametz, and when bringing them to the dining table, is careful that no crumbs of hametz fall into them. He's not required to search his books because they are already considered hametz.
So this is what I was doing now. You see that? When I ate the wafer, I saw that there's crumbs, so I was careful to wipe them off. And then when Pesach comes, I don't have to clean them because all year long I was careful to never leave any chametz in my books. Many people are careful with their books not to eat near the books. I thought he was going to say something else though. And this is a problem we have in our house. I think in most houses. There are certain books that we don't use on Pesach at all. Which books? Show you the books. These kind of books. These kind of books.
We don't use on Pesach.
We don't use them on Pesach. Why?
We don't eat bread.
No, but we still want to sing the songs. All year long, we bring them to the table.
You're right.
All year long, we sing Zmirot Shabbat from them and Birkat HaMazon. They're always near food. Sometimes there's food on the outside. Sometimes they get spilled on. These books are full of chametz. We just put them away. I could try to clean each one. And I just say, for 7 days, I have a different set. These are actually very clean because they're here with no food. But most Zmironim are used on the table with food all the time during the year. And so those little, what do we call them? Zmironim or birkonim. Zmira is to sing, birkon is from bracha, birkon. And in Yiddish, to make a bracha is to bench. Some people call them benchers. These little books with songs and Birkat HaMazon, they're called benchers in some communities. So all those you should really put away because they were on the table with food the whole year. And for Pesach you have other benchers, maybe special benchers for Pesach. Or you could use a different book to sing songs, to say Birkat HaMazon from. A book which is not filled with chametz the whole year, yeah.
You have the whole year to learn all the songs by heart.
That's right, you know it off by heart, perfect, yeah.
You have another word for bench in Hebrew.
Yeah, levarech. Levarech. The bench is levarech. Bracha. Levarech, and therefore a bencher, a little book which helps you say the bracha is called a birkon. Bracha birkon. It's like birchon, but you added the gesh because of the diktuk. A birchon or a birkon is a little book that helps you say the bracha. Bracha. Bencher in Yiddish. Benching is saying a bracha. Okay. One more paragraph about the books. Continue reading, Gabriel. The status, top of page 47.
The status of the bookcase itself depends upon the household. If there are no children and the adults are careful not to put any food on the bookshelves, no research is required. If there are children in the house and we have placed food there, one is required to search among the books and behind them. If the bookshelf was clean well beforehand, a casual search is sufficient.
So this is primarily what we do in Machon Meir. So go through all there must be 50 shelves, maybe more, in the English library. So you have to make sure maybe someone put down a package of wafers in between one of the books. He was hiding it so nobody would take it from him. Maybe you left some food there. So in my house also, the surfaces near the books, sometimes you put food there. I put down my glass of tea sometimes. I don't know, I don't have a table, so I put it on the bookcase. Sometimes maybe it's spilled, maybe it was cocoa that had chametz in it.
It always works in Yeshiva Kedim. We do it before the vacation.
Yeah,
one day
before vacation, yeah. So it's already 2 weeks before Pesach. Because everybody has to help. And that gets done quickly. The last day, Rosh Chodesh Nisan, or the day before Rosh Chodesh Nisan. Rav Listman will tell you what to do, don't worry. Okay, so let's take a look at page 47. Israel, can you read for us number 8?
We read up on the killing done before the Pesach. Most Jewish family clean their house
Thoroughly, very carefully, yeah.
Thoroughly. Before Pesach, any part of the house that was cleaned well, and into which people were careful not to bring Hamas alcohol. It is not requires a thorough search. However, some poskim take a...
Who are poskim? Who are poskim? I stop you for a second, Israel. Who are the poskim?
Commentaries.
No, not commentaries. Decisors. What does that mean?
They choose.
They decide the halacha. So some poskim, some rabbis who decide the halacha, what do they say? They take a stringent position. Yanga, a stringent position. Go ahead, Israel. Continue reading.
However, some poskim take a stringent position in this regard and assert that the killing is not change a thing for the trace or they searching the crevices and the crevice of the ones and entire holes of the night of the 14. Other poskim and stringent on the grass, as one cannot read up on the wireless killing unless it were carried out on at night by the light of a candle. Only in the manner the maintain is possible to discuss the harmless in the crust and service.
So what do we do? So it could be paying you 100 shekels an hour to clean a week before Pesach, 2 weeks before Pesach. It was no good. Comes the night of the 14th, I have to do it all again. With the candle, I have to go search. In practice, though, the custom is to follow the lenient approach and to perform a relatively cursory search, that means quick, of all the places that were cleaned beforehand. This makes sense. For if a room has been cleaned well, and afterward people were careful not to enter with chametz, it has the status of a place into which no chametz was ever brought. Like we said, those upstairs, those cabinets where you never bring chametz, you don't have to check them. Although a search is not effective unless it was carried out at night by the light of a candle, a thorough cleaning is more effective than searching. For example, when one cleans a clothing closet, he takes all of its contents, and wipes off all of the shelves. After this, the chances of chametz remaining are less than the chances of finding chametz there after a thorough search on the night of the 14th. Nonetheless, even after such a thorough cleaning, one must search for chametz with a bracha on the night of the 14th, because the dining area certainly needs to be searched. In addition, one may have forgotten to clean a closet, drawer, or corner. Thus, when performing b'dikat chametz, one must search the entire house and confirm that everything has indeed been cleaned well. If the one performing the search did not participate in the cleaning, he must ask those who cleaned to search with him, so then we ask them if each part of the house he inspects was properly cleaned. Alternatively, they can mark properly cleaned places with stickers. And all such places need only be given a cursory search. However, even when performing a casual search, one must check every corner of the room, along the walls, between the furniture, and one must open every closet and drawer that could possibly contain chametz. In order to assure that they are indeed clean and remain so, searching a room in this manner should take no more than a few minutes. So, many people, what they do is they have a big house, like you said. And so they clean a few weeks before Pesach. But then, many times it's the mother of the house, they become nervous. And they say, don't bring any chametz into this room. I already cleaned it. And then, next day, they clean another room. And they say, don't bring chametz into that room. And so you have areas of the house. This is clean for chametz. This is not clean for chametz. Of course, the last room where you have to have chametz is where you're eating, because you're eating before Pesach. But some people get really, really nervous already now. Purim time, you have cake, crackers, mishloach manot. But right afterwards, some people say, no more chametz in the house. We're cleaning the house now. Nobody's allowed to bring in any chametz. And they put up signs on the room. This room, chametz free. Don't bring any, right? You know what's the sign? They have a do not enter sign. They have a loaf of bread here. No chametz. It's a chametz free zone. Because they're cleaning ahead of time. And they want to make sure that when the night of the 14th comes, they don't have to start all over again. Search for everything. So, people slowly but surely get ready for Pesach, and once you've checked it, the custom is that you can rely on your cleaning, but you just have to inspect. That's why I said the most important tool for b'dikat chametz is your mind, not your hands. Your hands you have to clean, but you have to think, where could I have forgotten? Where maybe somebody not clean? And that is how we do b'dikat chametz. Okay, let's continue. We said we talked about hiding the little pieces to make sure that we have something to gather. And we were saying a bracha, so we want to be able to burn something. And some people say it'll make you search better. I don't know where the pieces of chametz are. Sometimes I have to really search. My wife hides them from me. Sometimes I go through a room and there's a cabinet that I didn't bother opening. I have to check everywhere. Okay? And then, if you look at the top of page 50, it's very interesting. At the top of page 50, you know what happens sometimes? You hide, or your wife hides 10 pieces of chametz, and you only find 9. Ouch. What do you do? So I asked my wife, where's the 10th? I don't remember. Oh no! You go through the whole, you have to, there's a piece of chametz that's more than a kazayit. Now you really have to search for chametz. Very well, the whole house until you find all 10 pieces. It's a good idea to write down where you hide them, because sometimes you can't find them. You forget, and then you have to search all night.
Last year we did like
One second. Yeah.
aluminium foil, and we just put one in the corner there, one in the other room. Like
Yeah.
not really hiding, but like you put it somewhere in the room.
Well, then you're missing out on the fun. The fun is to search. Well, Pinchas wanted to ask you a question.
Every year, my friends invite us to the home.
That's so nice of them.
We have searched for chametz.
Ah,
For my home, no. The home.
lo tov.
Local.
You have an obligation to search for your house, of course. Of course, yes. Everybody has to search their own house. It's nice of him to invite you. He wants to teach you, probably to show you. But then you have to go home and do it in yourself, in your own home. Yeah, checking his home is nice, but you have to check your own. Okay? Yeah. Question. Yeah.
What about these houses with the aluminium foil? See some houses there.
We're gonna get to that when they get to the kitchen. They don't want, like we said before, they don't want any crumb to get into the food. Maybe there's leftover crumbs from the whole year, and if I put my food on Pesach down, it'll get attached to my food, and I'll end up eating chametz. So they make a new surface, they cover it, and then no crumbs.
Nullify them also, including that?
Sorry?
Because let me say if I have a lot of crumbs here, and I put a foil on it,
Yeah.
then I have no chametz anymore in my house.
True. But usually you clean first.
Okay.
Just in case, you cover it.
You do it also?
Very little. Only some sections of the oven.
Okay.
Mostly I clean. And I'll teach you the tips. If you clean using cleaning liquid, soap, special soaps for cleaning, they are economica.
Very dangerous.
It doesn't have to be economica, but another kind that's not economica. Economica can burn you, bleach.
Yeah, burn my clothes.
Right, so
Chametz.
that's a difference. Any of these detergents, any of these cleaning agents, any of these soaps, they're inedible. They're poisonous. You can't eat them. You can't drink soap. And so therefore, when you clean, you use soap. Spray, right? You spray cleaning liquid. Even if there's a little crumb left, the crumb becomes inedible. If it's inedible, then there's no prohibition. There's no prohibition whatsoever. So you don't have to worry even about eating it. So if you clean well and you use soap, like everybody does, so then that you really don't have to worry about every crumb. Even if there is a crumb left, it's inedible. It's not considered food anymore. It's poison. So you're allowed to eat poison. No, you shouldn't eat poison, but it's not considered chametz if it's not edible food. Okay. Top of page 50 says
50.
50. After the search, one should nullify the chametz that he did not find, and that might remain in the house. As we're going to explain in the next chapter, one must exercise extreme caution with the chametz that was found and the chametz that he plans to eat until the following morning, making sure that he do not become scattered about the house. If it is difficult for one to search the entire house on his own, he may ask family members to help him. In this case, they should stand next to him while he recites the bracha and answer Amen. Then they should spread out in the house to search it. If the homeowner is unable to perform the search, he should ask somebody else to search for him, and the searcher says the bracha. I was just going to say that after you've finished cleaning, the night of the 14th comes. Eitan, what happens the night of the 14th? Nightfall. Ma'ariv. You make a bracha. You light the candle. You go around. You search for your chametz. You find 1 piece, 2 pieces. You find all 10 pieces. Great. What do you do with them?
You burn them. You go
Then
the next morning. Right?
you have to wait till the next morning. So where do you put them? Put them in a safe place. Put them in a safe place, in a bag or something. Usually I put it on top of the fridge or in a cabinet high up so it doesn't get mixed with anything else. And no more chametz in the house. Except it's not true. Why? Especially when you have small children. You have to eat breakfast. What are you going to eat tomorrow morning for the breakfast? You're still allowed to have chametz until 10 a.m. Till 10 in the morning. So maybe if there's little children, you have cereal.
Can you eat cereals? Chametz cereal?
Most cereal has wheat in it.
Cornflakes.
Most cereal has made from grain, so it's chametz. So you leave over some for breakfast. Maybe you want to have toast for breakfast. Maybe you want to have a sandwich for breakfast. You're allowed. It has to be only in a very small area. Everything else is kosher for Pesach. Everywhere else you've searched, there's no chametz anywhere else. You only have 2 sources of chametz left, the 10 pieces and your breakfast. And if you have a whole family, so there's a lot of breakfast. So you got to make sure the following morning to keep everything separate. Some people eat their breakfast outside because they've cleaned the whole house. A lot of people in these areas, they order pizza. They don't want to cook in the house anymore. Already a day before Pesach, because they're already preparing for Pesach. And they've cleaned the whole house, and they go out. They go out to eat. Outside, there can be as much chametz as you want until 10 a.m., 11 a.m. It's not my house anyways. I make it hefker. It belongs to nobody. It's in the park. So you'll see lots of people eating outside in the breakfast, but also even a day or 2 days before. Some people clean their house totally. They don't want to bring any more chametz in, except for the 10 pieces. And then you take the 10 pieces, and if you have leftover cornflakes, cereal, you left a loaf of bread, you only ate half a loaf. The other half a loaf you have to get rid of. So you burn that too. You can also, as I said, nullify it. You can also make it inedible. There's many ways to get rid of it. We'll talk about it later. But you have some chametz in the house after b'dikat chametz. For sure, the 10 pieces, and maybe a little more food for breakfast. So you have to be careful they don't get scattered around the house. Yeah.
But you're not allowed the next morning to eat one of the 10 pieces.
Usually we don't. Usually those 10 pieces, we use them for burning.
And why 10 pieces?
So he said there's Kabbalistic reasons. 10 is a good number.
A minyan.
It's a minyan, that's right. 10 is a very traditional number.
10 makot.
10 makot, right.
Completion, right?
10 is that's right. But it doesn't have to be 10. It doesn't have to, it's a custom.
Okay.
It's a custom. Okay? Let's see. Let's continue. What? Question?
Yogurt is kosher for Pesach?
Most yogurt doesn't have any chametz in it. Although, we're going to talk about milk products soon. There is stringencies. Some people have all the... it depends on the dairy where they make the milk. they have a worker who has a sandwich? Maybe a crumb fell in. But in most dairies, especially in Israel, they're very careful to not have any chametz. They don't even feed the cows chametz from before Pesach. Some people say if the cow eats chametz and then makes milk, then the milk should be chametz. So we're very careful about that, but bottom line is milk is not chametz. But now there's yogurts, they add in things. You can buy yogurt with granola inside, right? What's that called? Muesli. Muesli, right? You have yogurt and you put in granola.
Yes, all the strange notes.
Sometimes you can buy yogurt and you put in wafers.
Wafers?
Yeah. Chlik. Cornflakes.
Complex, yes.
Inside the yogurt.
Yes.
So it depends what type of yogurt. If it's pure yogurt, it's only milk, made from milk, there's very little problem. There is a custom, some people buy all their milk products from before Pesach for the entire week. And that's based on this idea that chametz, even if there's a little bit of chametz before Pesach, it becomes nullified. And so even if there was something in there, it was nullified before Pesach. But we're going to talk about that in a later chapter, okay? Let's skip ahead to page 54. Page 54. Because some of you here, not all of you, only Michael, Eitan, and Gabriel, about half of you, live in a dormitory. Right? You live in a dormitory. The other guys live elsewhere. So, do you have to do Bdikat Chametz?
Yes.
Rav Dani is in charge, right? Let's take a look. The top of page 55. Top of page 55. Can Michael Arya read it for me?
Yes. Boys or girls living in a dormitory and paying for this facility have the status of tenants, and if a kesayet of chametz remains in the room during Pesach, they violate Baal Yera'eh and Baal Yematzeh. Therefore, they are obligated to search their rooms before Pesach. And if they will be staying there during Pesach, they are required to search on the night of the 14th with the Beracha. If they leave the dormitory a number of days before Pesach, they are required to search on the night before they leave without reciting a Beracha.
Wait, when maybe some of you will be going away for Pesach. Yes. When does classes start?
The first day of...
When do classes finish? I'm sorry, before Pesach. 2 weeks before Pesach.
Good.
Maybe you're going to go and live with a friend for a whole month.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
There's no classes. Maybe for 2 weeks, but for Pesach. You won't be here. What do you have to do?
Still to check it?
You have to check 2 weeks before. Wow. You have to leave. Before you leave, without a bracha.
Just check.
What do you mean just to check? You have to clean and make sure there's no just. It's not so simple, but you clean
because
and...
you can clean a little bit and then the other guys clean.
Oh, you let the other guys clean.
Yeah, because it's not to clean it right the night before, right?
Everybody has responsibility for their space. The responsibility for searching the rest of the rooms, the halls, belongs to yeshiva administration. Okay. That's it. Okay, so we finished chapter 4. Tomorrow, B'ezrat Hashem, we'll do chapter 5. I'm going to give you another test on the chart I showed you yesterday. I added a few words. I changed it up a little bit again. Now we're up to 38 words in the glossary. So many words on that one page. But we're going to go back to it B'ezrat Hashem tomorrow. Okay?
Yes.
Questions, comments? We're good? I'll give you some trivia questions if you like. Sorry? You want this page? Sure. What did Moshe say to Paro?
Let my people go.
Let my people go. It's yours.
Yes.
What was the secret of Samson's strength? Shimshon. His hair. Excellent. Not cutting his hair. How old was Abraham when Sarah gave birth to their son Isaac? 100 years old.
So when you're 50, they say you're Abraham. Okay? When you're 50.
99 he got told.
Sorry?
99 he got told he was gonna have Isaac.
He was told, but he didn't have, right. Avram was 100. I think Sarah was 90. That's what it was. No? I think Sarah was 90. But how old was Avram? When Sarah gave birth, he was 100. On what day of creation did God create man and woman?
On the 6th day.
6th day of creation. Okay. And how many days and nights was Jonah, inside a great fish?
3 days and 3 nights.
3 days, 3 nights.
Good answer. You even have a picture. Okay. Now this is a tough one. What man in the Bible owned 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, 500 yoke of oxen, and 500 donkeys?
Yair? And he said, "Let's shove team, Ken."
Nope.
Abraham?
Nope.
Shlomo.
Nope.
So how many donkeys?
I'll say it again. What man in the Bible owned 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels? Very good. Eov. Yopo. Chinese, it's Yopo. Yeah.
Yopo. In Chinese. Yopo?
It's one of the books of the Bible.
Yop. You know Yop? Joe. It's poor, very poor. You get poor.
How many days did it take Nehemiah and the other Israelites to rebuild the walls of Jerusalem?
50.
You say 50. Close.
15 years.
Nope.
52.
Good. How did you know that? You guessed?
The 52 I guess. I think it was.
But you remembered 50.
Yeah.
Good. How many days did Joshua, and the Israelites march around Jericho,
7 days.
Jericho, until the walls fell down? That they blew shofarot also. There's a custom that a chatan walks around the kala, or the kala walks around the chatan 7 times. So maybe it's like there's a wall between them. It should fall down. They should have closeness and not have any walls between them. Okay, who was thrown into a den of lions?
Daniel.
Okay. What prophet helped a widow pay her debt by asking God to fill up many empty jars with oil?
Elisha.
Very good. Okay. What skin disease did the brave soldier Naaman have?
Sarah.
Good. Tzara'at. 2 Kings 5. How did Gideon's army win the battle against the Midianites?
Because the whole tactic, what they did?
You tell me, whatever you know.
They, because Hashem told them they're going to win this first, and then he said to them, go to the camp and listen. And in the dream, the soldiers say, we're going to get crushed by the Gideon. The next day they come with a fire and a shofar.
Trumpets and the jars. Sure, please, b'vakasha.
3 short announcements. Number 1, the Shabbat is the Shabbat Zachor. So yes, please students to be here.
Remember it.
Remember to be here.
Zachor means remember. So you have to remember Shabbat.
Please sign up to be here. Number 1. Number 2, Rabbi Kaplan is coming back for the first time after his back operation.
Baruch Hashem.
Sure, so please give him the due right in honor. Number 3, after the terrible terrorist attack that happened yesterday, 2 of our brothers were killed and murdered. I turned to the Rosh Hashiva that it might be proper to make the schedule earlier, to allow those that wanted to join at least part of the funeral to be there, so the entire time schedule is changing. My Parsha Shur will end early, Rabbi Kaplan will start early.
When's the funeral?
Then we're going to have Mincha at 1 o'clock, and not at 1:15. And then I'm leaving about 1:35, 1:45 with the train to Mount Herzl, the military cemetery. The funeral is scheduled for 2 o'clock. B'sorot tovot. All that was just announced on the board as well.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. How old was Yoshiyahu, Josiah, when he became king of
10
Yehuda?
or 8.
Nachas.
10 or 8.
8 years old. 8 years old. Yafeh. You guys got it. Well done. Shakoach. We'll stop here.